Hello.
What's up, y'all? It's HipPoppington with Kim, and the crew.
Facts.
And we have
We have what? We
each
have
other
today. And ain't nothing wrong with that.
And we really have been thinking and going back, talking about hip-hop crews lately. And one of my favorite crews.
My favorite crew is the Wu-Tang. I mean, my favorite crew is, of course, the Def Squad.
It's not Def Squad?
It is. I mean, I'm just not going to be biased. I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm definitely a Wu-Tang fan. I'm definitely... Just what they do as a whole, like the whole unit, like it's a few of us, you know what I mean? But to have that many people together and, crews, break up back together again, like that's the one I kind of put the hats off to. It's a lot of men together.
Right. So as a collective Wu-Tang Clan, I spoke earlier because Kim wasn't here yet. But I spoke earlier. I spoke earlier with a member of the Dungeon family, and I really hope that they have a Dungeon family reunion. So Kim and I were also talking about back in the 90s and how the Dungeon family had a huge impact on hip hop. And if you lived in Atlanta in the 90s, if you turned on your radio, they talk about us not showing them love. They didn't show us much love either.
No,
so
I never heard us on the radio. I lived here in the 90s. I didn't hear any East Coast. But when they came, for me, it was like that was the continuation of hip hop.
Right.
I mean? Like for me, it was like, okay, they still doing hip hop. Hip hop is here. You know, it was like the emergence of other cities doing what we do.
Right, because they never really needed us.
Never.
Because you could go platinum really easily, more easily in the South than in the East Coast because they're more of the people.
I just feel like the South.
To the Southern
to ask the question to a South artist, it's like, did y'all really have this union, this supportive union that y'all have, that we believed y'all have?
Right.
Because I heard 2 Chainz say one time on an interview, he was like, well, we in the studio and such is in one room, we just go into their room and just get on their record. And I'm like, well, we from New York and I'm living in Long Island. I'm from Wyandanch where Rakim and De La Soul and Public Enemy and EPMD, like I'm from Long Island. So Long Island don't go to Queens to be in the studio.
Well, a lot of there was one studio everybody used to go to, and I remember when I
in New York.
In Manhattan.
We have Quad. You got Hit Factory, but those, how big you had to be to get into them studios.
Right.
We talking about just
you had
this studio.
The competition
is on
was
Studio
crazy.
Row. You know what I mean? My brother had a studio in Long Island on Studio Row, so Stankonia is here. They were all in the same spot, so it's easy to say, oh, such and such is 3 doors down. You had to be established to be in them studios in Manhattan. You just couldn't go into the Hit Factory.
You had to have a deal. You couldn't just do like now. You go and you say, hey, I got. How much is studio time? Like
no, you couldn't. You had to have a budget to get into them studios.
Mm-hmm.
So people, the average Joe wasn't just in the studios and going. So I kind of felt some, a little offense by him just saying like, well, we jump on each other's records, because we united. It's like we don't even see each other. Like y'all nucleus is Atlanta. Your nucleus is to be able to have a studio close to each other. This dude in Staten Island ain't coming to Long Island. I'm never gonna see Raekwon and them. I'm never gonna see Nas. I'm never gonna see Jay-Z. He in Brooklyn.
My favorite crew. Well. Not my favorite, but one of my favorite crews is Boot Camp Click.
Oh, please, let's not get you into your Boot Camp clip.
I love Boot Camp Click.
Girl, I think that you work for them, honestly.
I have to like fall back because I do go kind of hard for Boot Camp Click.
Real hard.
And people be like, yo, what's up
I think you
that?
work for them.
No,
I be pissed off sometimes. Like, yo, come on. Like, calm down. There's other people to talk about. Like, are they paying you?
I mean, they're just so active. You know what I mean? And they share a lot. So that's why I love them. I mean, Wu-Tang Clan shares a lot too, but they don't need any more publicity.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I was always more of an underground.
Me too.
So, I mean, your brother was mainstream.
Well, he became mainstream. At the end of the day, he really wasn't. They considered to be underground because radio didn't promote them. You know what I mean?
Initially, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And really, even today, like, you hear these records. I mean, they put out records that, thus far in radio, if it's not this catchy, and if it's going to be in rotation. I used to boycott Hot 97 when I was younger. I really did. I was outside with a group of kids, and we went outside, and we was like, "Listen, you lying? That's not the most requested record." Like,
what?
I was really like a hip hop
like
advocate.
An activist.
What? I was not letting y'all just put anything on the radio.
So do they? Okay, so back in the day, what really used to happen was, so just like with Bad Boy, right? They would have a crew. It was like a blueprint.
Right.
You would have a crew. Y'all would come out, have a hit record, and then everybody would have their each individual project. I don't know if Baby tried to do that, and
Yeah.
it kind of like worked or whatever. But do you guys think that blueprint worked, or is it like that's outdated? No one does that anymore. What about with the hip hop crews? Is it dead?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
So who's still out here? That's a crew.
Right.
That's still out here. DJ Samore's in the building.
We
Shout out to
got,
DJ Samore.
T.I., he got a little crew out
I
there.
think they all came out. What you talking about? You talk about when Ludacris came. Like everybody just formulated and got their crews
But
together.
it's
So
not
to say
like
there's
that.
not,
Yeah, right now
anymore.
it ain't really too many crews.
No.
Like remember you had like G Unit. G Unit was
Right.
rocking.
G-Unit
for a
is
minute.
our
I mean,
era.
I
right?
think maybe those.
Dipset.
Yeah.
G Unit
Dipset is our era.
What?
What?
G Unit. 50 Cent.
50 Cent is like 50 years old.
You heard what he said? Did he just try to?
Whoa.
He got. Oh, no, they go hard. They go hard.
Hold on.
They go
So
hard.
what do
They
you
go
say?
hard.
Wait, let's go back. Are
Let me
you
ask this
saying? Go
question first.
ahead, do your thing.
Okay, this is ridiculous.
What time frame is y'all era?
Okay, wait, no. Let's just go back. Wait, hold up. I just want to go to the premise of this show.
Right,
the premise of this show is that our era brought this culture in because we young. We over 40 years old. Technically, they say we 42 years old, so that's young. So because this era, this culture is so young, we like, oh wait a second, before y'all get this thing twisted and try to, because disco got faded out, you know what I mean? And so for us, it's like, wait a second, you're not getting ready to take out hip hop, you know what I mean? So our era is everything that came within this culture.
But I think that
You know what I mean?
hold on.
So yes, G Unit is us.
Everything is good. Everything that's good is y'all era.
No, not everything that's good.
But wait a
Because
minute.
listen, if you want to be honest, Jay-Z is our era.
Okay.
No, Jay-Z came in when he was 26 years
But-
old, correct?
Look,
but he came in the 90s.
When did majority of Jay-Z catalog come out?
Let's go back. Let's go back. Were you at the club in the 90s?
When did majority of
Were
Jay-Z
you
catalog
at the
come
club
out?
in the 90s?
No. But when did
When we say 80s and 90s babies, it's because I was an
Okay.
80s baby.
I
so,
think-
so it's so
but
Two
I was-
Chainz
that's
is
when I was
Two Chainz is
partying.
one of y'all then.
I'm just talking about when we was
I'm
partying.
asking,
You gotta know when you was
Two-
able
is-
to
is
embrace
Two
the
Chainz one of
music.
y'all?
What?
2 Chainz is.
No,
he's
it's not
older
the
than that.
age. It's when you was able to embrace this music and have an appreciation and party with
Okay,
it.
first
As
of
it was
all-
90, 92, 93, 94, 95. Was you at the age where you was able to rock and appreciate
Jay-Z.
this culture?
Okay, wait a minute.
If
Time's
you
up.
couldn't, then it's
Time's
not
up.
yours.
Time-
It's
no,
fine.
but Jay-Z, but you said was we at the club at the age where his music came out? Jay-Z, most of his music came out in 2000.
No, his popular.
What?
His music was
he did Reasonable
popular.
Doubt. What are
in
you talking?
'97 he had two or three albums that came out in the '90s.
And
Jay-Z got 13 albums. 3 albums. He got 10
so
albums
you
outside of the
we
90s.
we don't go back until when he got hot. He was hot from the door. When you appreciated him is when he came
So-
album
so-
5. Now you like,
But
oh, I
this
know
is
Jay.
what-
But we knew Jay album 1.
No, we're not saying he wasn't appreciated.
But
we
you're
just
saying he don't
most
come
of his
from your
career was
culture.
That's
in
when
the
he got
2000s.
popular.
Most of his career was in the 2000s though.
That's when he became most popular.
How is G Unit a part of y'all? Because G Unit definitely was in the 2000s. They definitely was 2000s. I was in the club.
But
I was
how
in
old
the
were
King Club
they
then.
though?
No. We don't.
How
even,
old were they?
You can't dispute all that they're saying. Okay. Even though we know 50 Cent from way then, and then 50 Cent coming out and being popular. Cause
Right.
50 Cent, honestly,
that's
my
the
brother
thing.
produced 50 Cent. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So
you
I
can
remember
give
this
50
boy
Cent
coming
that.
to the house and being in the basement, and him and Ja Rule passing
Right.
by, and could have been friends right then and there. I understand when you're saying when the crew was formed.
G-Unit collectively.
Yeah, I get you.
Not just 50 Cent. I mean, they're still.
No, but
out
I'm
there,
saying
but
I
they're
understand
not-
what she's holding on to. She's holding on to. Yeah, we know when G was formulated, but we're still just holding on to the man who created the unit.
Right.
You know?
So what was y'all question? Y'all question was our crew.
Oh yeah, our crew
Or
is still,
still
you know, relevant.
Do you-
Or
there was a blueprint. There was a blueprint that you come
So-
out. This is what happened in the 90s,
you
right?
said loyalty.
You
Absolutely.
had a crew. You came out with one big song, and then each of you individually came out with another song, and then there was always one girl,
always one.
one
We
girl,
can get into that too.
and we could get into that later. But there was always one girl. Go ahead.
I think it's still out. I think it's just different now, and I think it's because you look at Young Money. Because
That
you
was
got
the last
Drake and
time I
Nicki
saw it.
Minaj,
That was
too.
gonna be my point. Yeah.
But like if you look at people if you look at like the Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
they was all, you feel me? They was good as a group,
Right.
And they was good individually. Like
Right.
Young Money, they was kind of like they was a group, but they was all still individual.
But I feel
Right.
like they came together.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
because they were
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like labels brought them together to go, okay, we're gonna formulate so y'all can be that. We talking about authenticity. When they came out and was like, this is my crew, and now you like, yo, Killer Bees want to get put on. Like, oh, y'all
Right.
formulating? You know what I mean? When we did what we did, it wasn't like, you know, we got the dude who was with us. You know what I mean? Like that's people who came from all over. A lot of people who formulate crews, like, because these people in my neighborhood, so this is my man, but he
Right.
rapped too.
It was all like
when we
your
put our crew
neighborhood.
together,
Yeah.
this
Put your
dude was
man
from
on.
Jersey, this dude was from Colorado, this dude was from Long Island. Like, we put
Right.
a crew together just
when-
with some MCs.
So
you know what I mean?
You guys weren't here, all of you, but a few minutes ago, Backbone of the Dungeon Family was here, and he mentioned that. And he said that when he came out, you know, they were all friends. They were all just kicking it. He knew CeeLo when CeeLo was 8 years
And
old.
I think that resonated.
And nobody knew that each other could rhyme. And
Yeah.
when they all got together, they all could rhyme.
But that's why we respected them so much on the East Coast, because it resonated in the same way we formulated. That's how we
Right,
felt. Not really
right.
knowing the background of it.
when you come out, oh, No Limit. Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Hands down, Master P did something that no one. I mean,
Master P,
no,
Cash Money.
That's Master P.
Master P. Look,
No, Cash Money. Oh, Cash. Yeah, but Cash Money, you know, I think they was all about the moolah. I think
no,
they came in business minded.
I was definitely on.
Yeah.
I was definitely on No Limit. I was
Yeah.
on No Limit, and I watched that movie I'm About It about 10,000
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
Back in the 90s.
I feel like they came from
all
somewhere and
that.
was like, "We gonna do this, and if you rap, you can do this. If you produce, you do
New
this."
Orleans,
Not just
let me tell you
fakely
something.
Put themselves
New
together.
Orleans, I need people to understand. New Orleans is the only place that I've ever been
Yeah,
that I felt like I was at home.
yeah, it's dope.
New Orleans is very culturally
Yeah.
like New York. It is like the New York of the South. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but No Limit and Cash Money definitely.
I'm gonna give Master P the top of the
Oh,
echelon. Because of what he
definitely
did.
gets all the props.
When I came here to Georgia, Greg Street introduced me to Master P. I never knew who this dude was. He was like, "Listen, I'm about to go on the road with Master P." You know, I think at the time Street was gonna be doing radio in Dallas and doing radio here. That's to see now. That's when I was here. And he was like, "I'm about to go to Dallas, you know, do this. I'm going on the road with Master P. You should come." I said, "Who the hell is a Master P?" Like, I can't go nowhere, not knowing who this dude was. But when I
Right.
got
But when
here,
you found out-
Greg took me under his wing and we were just throwing parties together. But when I found out, I always regret the fact that I didn't go on the road with Master P because, but I'm a
Yeah,
young girl,
she
so I'm
shoulda
just
went.
like, I'm not going anywhere. You know,
think about
Street was the God, you know what I mean? He still is, you know what I mean? And at the time, it was like, you know what, I don't know what to do, you know? And I wanted to ask him about the clubs, like Club Flavor, Club 359. Like, when I was here in the 90s, like, all we heard was bass music. Bass
Oh, yeah, that's
music.
true.
Them things used to pump. And because I'm
that
from New
was
York,
that was
The
pre-crunk music.
I
That
was at the
pre-crunk.
bass music. I was at the bass clubs.
Hey, if you think about it, Master P, he did everything Jay-Z did before Jay-Z. He was
Yeah.
Jay-Z before
Absolutely.
Jay-Z. He just
So
wasn't as
why?
polished.
Can I
He
ask
just
you
wasn't
guys?
as
Can I
polished.
ask you guys a question? Because you guys. Okay, like our era
Yeah.
created Jay-Z. Your era made him who he is, though. I
Right.
mean, what was it about him that made you guys idolize him so much?
I think with me, and this is how I feel. I feel like the people in the South, they the creative people. But I feel like if you look at all the people that's in hip hop that's in charge on the business side, they come from the East Coast. They come from New York. Look at
Right.
the 50 Cents. Look at the
Right.
Diddy's. Look at the Jay-Z's.
Right.
But the South, it seems like it never. I mean, you got Birdman, but you see what's going on with Birdman.
It's a mess.
Even with like Lil Wayne, like I feel like Lil Wayne should be he should be
More
of in a
business.
boss
Yeah.
position
Right,
than he is,
absolutely.
you feel me,
Right.
for being in the
But
game so
understand
long.
that you have to know that politics is always involved, and because we from New York, and because it's like we don't have black mayors. The only black mayor we have is Mayor Dinkins. We don't
Right.
have black politicians. We're not looking
Right.
at black cops going down the street. We're not looking at black businesses. So we already
Right.
in the clunch, in the clink. So it's already like, okay, well, how are we going to take this business and resonate to ourselves? So our mind is
Right.
always, I got to get this business. I got to get it. I got to
Right.
get it, because they're not giving it to us. So here
mean,
it's
we
more
have
like
to
it's an
take it.
open field, y'all. This is the South, you know what I mean? So the things when
Right.
people say stuff like they slow, I be like, no, because they can be not slow mentally. Because
Right.
if the war goes out, y'all are the most prepared, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
the South is the most prepared.
Absolutely, and I mean, and I have to say this collectively, you know, from the East Coast, I had to come to the point where I'm kind of like almost apologetic to the people, to the music from the South,
Yeah.
because why were we like that? Like, we were really assholes.
But again, it's like playing at the Apollo. You know,
Right.
it's like everybody. The Apollo is
but
legendary.
why didn't we not see, like, okay, our family? I'm first generation.
But that's not what it was. It was who ran the game. It was hip hop. It was, well,
Right.
we got to be dirty, grimy, not knowing that the most rural places is the most dirtiest and grimiest. I was
Right.
a child coming here.
In a
my
quiet
mom lived
way.
in I'm saying Pool Creek, Carver Homes. We went to, she lived in Techwood. Like, I was a young girl. I came here every summer. You know what I mean? So, like, the South is like, I always, you know, it was always fun. It was always like, dog, there's so much going on here. So, when I came here and they wasn't playing no New York records, I was like, what's going on? Like, I can't turn on the radio and listen to any. I got a Mobb Deep tape at a club, and I went home like it was crack. I lived in Dunwoody, an apartment. I went home and I played Shook One over and over and over again. And I got it because they came to visit here. But I was so much engulfed in MJG and 8 Ball because they was everything to me. I was like, I'm cuckoo for these tricks. Like, I went home like,
what, Kim?
That was a rhyme. I'm like,
what was it?
I'm cuckoo for these tricks. That was a part. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who MJG and 8 Ball is. They platinum. I didn't even know that artists were platinum because we were still just going gold in New York. You know what I mean? That was enough
because
for
there's
us.
more of you. Yeah.
They was I was arguing with people in my hometown. It was like, girl, you don't turn, you crazy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, they doing something out there that, you know, we need to come together with. I got upset at the fact that they didn't need us. The South didn't need us to be solidified. So when Funkmaster Flex, I'm gonna blame it on him, he started playing the South music. It was like, well, they're not playing us. So why are we supporting them when they don't give a shit about us? And then they came in and pretty much took over.
But they couldn't relate to us.
I about to say, think about that's what I just because you got to think like we wasn't in a time where, you know, internet, we can see what's going on in the West Coast.
Right.
We can see how we relate, but it's like in the East Coast and in the South, they making music of stuff they going through.
Right.
Lifestyle. And
Right.
It's like an East Coast person not gonna relate to this South lifestyle.
Right.
So of course they're not gonna get the music.
Well, now it's different.
But I think we
everybody
just didn't understand that. Y'all were trapping and so was we. You know, we was just calling.
Who do y'all think has the sauce?
The sauce?
What do you mean?
Like,
Who got the juice?
Yeah, who got the juice?
Now?
Right now? Okay.
Oh.
Who got the juice? Who
You
got the sauce?
juice? You know what I'm saying? Y'all say juice, we say
All right,
sauce.
who got
got
the
the-
juice?
now?
You know what? It's so,
Who's running
I
it?
feel so terrible about my disconnect with today's hip hop because I was at the studio. You know, I go to the Mean Street Studios, and before 21 Savage and the Migos, and I was calling them the 3 Amigos, and my bad, you know, and Lil Uzi Vert, they was in the studio. I didn't know who they was. Famous Dex. I went home to my daughter, and she's 11 now, and she was like hyperventilating. I'm like, what's going on with you? She's like, Ma, you know who that is? I'm like, no, you know what I mean? I don't.
They don't
And they were
mean
very
anything
humble
to
kids,
me.
and they was nice. I went back a few weeks later, and they was like, I guess they was famous then. It didn't take them no time to jump off.
Yeah.
They call it Insta famous now, and they was like, they was different people. They was all like, how you doing? You know, real quiet. And I was like, look, these little boys. So I'm so disconnected in who these people are. You know
I
what
am
I mean?
too, and I don't-
And
I
I don't
don't.
like that. I really don't, because I do want to know what these records and these songs are. But
I don't.
Some of them sound so much alike.
Yeah,
That
that's why
I have
don't.
closed my ear to be like.
So
I
what
can't.
does that
Who
do?
are
So you know what that does too, because the music sounds just alike. What does that do for a DJ? Like that takes the hard work out of it. You don't have to work on blending or mixing because it's like so
Right.
And
easy.
that's the purpose of the
So that's
show.
why everybody's a DJ now. Like right, that's the purpose of the show. Like when you take it and you
Well,
make
not
and you put
everybody
the
hits the sync button. We actually mix and blend.
But see, that goes back to us talking to a DJ and asking a DJ, like, you know, because I asked a DJ, because I do a little product branding. So I said, well, do y'all still, you know, use needles? You know what I mean? Because I'm making product.
they?
And he's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
well, we really don't
But
really
they don't-
use needles anymore. And I'm like, ugh. Like, even if you don't, as a classic DJ, to keep yourself
they
as
don't
the
care about
essence,
that.
you should always say, I use needles. You could tell the youth to continue to use needles, because if you don't, they're gonna go back and use the stuff that's new in technology, but they're never gonna go back to the fundamentals because you said you don't need no needles no more. So
Right.
he's not my client anymore because he didn't understand the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was just like, listen, you can create yourself some needles, and you could tell these artists today, like, if you don't got these needles, then you ain't no damn DJ.
right.
You know what I mean? If you don't do
know
this,
how to mix on the vinyl.
right?
Just say you got some.
I remember DJ used to get paid just to do scratches and records. Like, you know, like, I'm going to do some scratches and some records because it just, you know, amplified the record. Like, where are they today? You know, we going on a whole different tangent, but
I just don't know who got y'all from
who
the
got the
North?
juice? And who got the
You know what I'm
juice?
saying?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't even.
North
I can't even
or the
answer.
South?
I don't even, it's so sad.
The North.
You mean the North or the South as far as who
Yeah,
got the
yeah,
juice?
the North. Yeah.
But y'all gotta come down here
Yeah.
though to get a hit record though.
What?
Y'all gotta come down.
Oh,
here
she
to
going,
get
she
poppin'.
But I
crossing
mean,
the
that's
line.
not
I'm about
really
to jump
a
outside.
hit record. Like it's
Okay,
a
that's
hit.
popping. To be popping. Y'all gotta
I mean,
come
but
down
that's not popping. Like that. instant
Jay-
music,
what's
then
his
it's
name?
not like they're famous. Like, where's gold all over my neck, gold all over my? What's his name?
And
Where's
you got to
he
think
at?
about it. All these records gonna resonate 25. My brother's been touring for 30 years. He got a deal when he was 17
You're not
years
gonna
old.
be listening
Now we
to,
going to see Lil Wayne talk about some, Suwoo, when I'm 40. I'm like, I'm not doing games.
You're not
you know what I
making
mean?
like I was talking.
Will your records resonate 20 something? And that should
Right.
be their thought process.
Well, right now.
But the right now is what they've been serving us all day. Microwave, quick food. Here you go, black boy, go get
It's
that.
not. You can't.
And you
can't
got to turn it
sustain
over into.
on that.
Yeah,
What
you
about
got to turn it over
Master P
into
days?
merchandise.
Master P, Cash Money Day.
What about
Yeah.
that?
Like,
You mean during that time, who had the juice?
They did.
Right now, Lil Uzi Vert got the juice. You know what I mean? And whoever else is in his genre,
I
they
just
got
feel
the
like
juice.
everybody got to come to the South. They mess with the South producers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Look at
the
Cardi B,
producers.
You know what I'm saying?
You know
The
who?
producer made it.
I'm so glad you brought her up since
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
are in here. I want to know what is your guys' opinion on Cardi B?
Listen, she got bars though.
He said I hate her.
She got bars.
Okay, but wait, but listen to the difference of opinion in the two of y'all. Yeah, speak up
Let me
about
say
Cardi
something.
B.
Alright, so I don't watch like Love. I don't watch none of that stuff.
Okay.
I don't care
Well, how
for
do you
none
even
of that.
know who she is if you don't watch?
I
Oh,
didn't
because
know,
of the
you
radio.
know what I'm
Go
saying?
ahead,
I didn't
go
know.
ahead.
So I remember, I just moved from Miami. I
Right.
remember being in Miami, and my homie was like, "Yo, Cardi B raps," and I was like, "Man, Cardi B don't rap. Like, she was just on TV." Da da da. He played me a song, and I'm like, "Yo, that's dope.
Right.
Like, that's dope." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna give her a chance."
Right.
Because I'm like, "Yo, I'm."
Lyrics,
on
lyrics over
the
everything.
fence about this whole new wave. I'm on
Yeah,
the fence with it,
right.
but I had to open my ears.
That's right.
Just to say, okay, let me try to figure out how I can relate in the sense to where I can have a conversation with this young dude right here. You know what I'm saying? And still appreciate what the people before me are saying as well. You know what I'm saying? So the whole Cardi B thing, I'm with it. I'm with it until I'm really waiting to hear an album. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because right now she's doing a lot of features. She's
Right.
doing a lot of, she's popping.
Right.
She's on that. I
I
want to
don't-
see
I
a
don't-
body
I
of
think-
work.
I
That's
think
that's
that
my
she-
opinion on it.
Yeah,
We don't know.
She got bars though.
But
When I
does it
seen
just
her in
take
LA,
bars?
That's
Where's
what
the
changed my mind because everyone I tell you her performance was lit. I was like, oh, okay. Cardi
She's
B
a
did
stripper.
Jay Black is itching to say something. I
go.
want to hear it.
Hey,
she's a stripper. So how do you?
right
I
now,
mean,
right now in hip hop, it's all about we in a popularity contest.
Yes.
We're not
Right.
in a
Yes.
talent contest.
exactly.
To me, and like I said, I like Cardi B as a person. I
Right.
like her personality.
Right.
Yeah.
I think all that is great.
Right.
But as far as the music,
Right.
she has no originality
At
no
all.
originality to me.
No.
She's starting to look like Nicki Minaj
Right.
now. I mean, this is just a personal thing. I don't
Right.
really like her accent, so that kind of throws me off.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And I don't know if I'm really looking forward to a Cardi B album.
Right.
I really,
You're not gonna know until
I never went and listened to Bodak Yellow on my own.
No. He said on his own, like it was like crack or something. Like I don't want to be in a room with Bodak Yellow.
Right.
If it come on, I will listen to it, but I never went on title and search.
My thoughts is like, oh, we really understand that that's a gang affiliated record.
Right.
Like and
I mean,
she's
I don't-
reached
I don't
she's
get-
reached plateaus that she's Lauryn Hill, Beyonce on a gang affiliated record. Why isn't no one going? Hold up, wait a second.
Because we love it. That's why
Yeah,
we have the president
this is
we
our
have. 'cause
culture,
love
and we
all
want to
that
know
stuff.
what's running our children. The music is what drives the culture. So
We
we want to
love
keep talking
all
about
that
who's
stuff.
shooting and gang banging and blaming it on Chicago and Chief Keef. This girl got the #1 record, and she's talking about bloody shoes, and she's talking about, and she's using the term B because if you in gangs, you can't use the word C, correct? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's using them terminologies and flipping it, and we like, okay. And our kids is at home. It's like, no, that's not the record that should be #1.
Right.
That's not the record that should go against Lauryn Hill. I'm not knocking Homegirl or none of that, but that's not the record we should be up here saying she run the charts for.
But if you do, then don't be surprised that your president is
But
getting
then that
accused
lets you
of
know it's
sleeping
all
with
about the beat.
strippers.
But this is our culture.
beat too.
This is our 40-year-old culture. So this is why we trying to wrangle this stuff in, and we just letting it get away from us, and then we say stuff like, oh, well, that's a dope record. No. That's not the record. She can be whatever else she want to be, but this game that we call hip hop, we're gonna have to put you over there to the sideline, homegirl. Let that be the bloody record. Let that be the gang record. But that's
Nobody's
what I mean.
doing
That's
that.
the problem. That is the problem. That's the other problem. That's
I had,
stopping a lot of artists from getting what they need because we got to stay in the
somebody-
same lane, do the same things.
Daddy-O from Stetson Sonic. I'm sure you guys don't know who that is, but we do.
Yeah.
He he posted something
That's sad.
on. Yeah, it's really sad because they were the first hip hop band.
But that's
They
sad.
used live instruments before the Roots and everything. But that's why we're here too. Like we always say, to teach you guys. So look them up. That's your homeworks. That's the Sonic. So Daddy-O posted something yesterday, and he said, you know, Mona Scott is Haitian.
Yeah.
And what she does is deplorable, and it's horrible because Love and Hip Hop is just not have anything to do with hip hop. So, and he said, you know, we always come for the government and we come for this and we come for that, but our backyard is still dirty because we still have this deplorable condition representing hip hop. And whatever he needs me to do to help him, because you know, he said, well, no, how come nobody's saying anything? And I said to him, I said, listen, you have to do it because you are well respected in the industry. I mean, who am I?
Step up.
And if he does, I'm right behind him. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay Black.
I definitely agree that somebody do have to step up.
Right. Well, that's what I'm going to do.
And we really can't be mad at Mona. What's her name? Mona Scott?
Yes.
Because if you look at hip hop right now, it's all about making money. It ain't got no morals behind it. And, you know, that's basically what she's showing that the culture is about.
But did you hear your line? So who's running the culture of hip hop today? So I wanted to ask him when he, you know, him, you know, from the South to say, how do you feel responsible about hip hop today? Because if we're saying Atlanta is on the hierarchy and we're saying you at the top of the game, it's almost like, Andre, did you leave because it's like this is not what I did for hip hop,
right?
And now this is what Atlanta's. So Jermaine Dupri, when he got that award, he was like, I'm so glad my city is where I always wanted it to be, and I'm like, This is what we call today's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what I mean? Isn't that what they're calling it? This is what we call today the hip hop demise.
Right.
So it's like, are you proud of what this culture is doing today? So if Mona Scott is doing exactly what it is, who do we blame for that?
And this is just no. This is me. We can blame y'all generation.
Yeah.
Because
why do you guys keep blaming us?
Because they should.
Because
the accountability starts with us. If we don't teach the history of what's going on,
That's
and
why
I
we're
agree
here.
with Little Yachty when he said, no one told. If y'all is out here dancing and doing effed up dances for like a year and 2 years, and we be like, oh, wait a second, homeboy, that ain't the bounce. And he like, well, I've been bouncing like this for 2 years. Y'all talking some shit now? We should have told them from the beginning about this culture. He just said, I don't know what Stetsasonics was. We didn't come in needing you to know the culture, respect the history.
Wait a minute. Let's wrangle this thing back in because back when. Why don't you know who Stetsasonic is?
But that's just like
what happened to MTV?
But listen, that's just
what
like
happened to music television not having any music on it. Let's start there.
that's just like your child going out and just being, you know, ignorant to a lot of things. That falls back on you, right?
History's taught. Exactly. It's taught.
If you don't teach your child nothing, it falls back on you.
Okay, so I was a child still though when MTV stopped playing music. When VH1, which stands for Video Hits 1, stopped playing videos. That's why no one knows what's going on.
No, but we created our own platforms. BET
but we weren't old enough to stand
but at
up
the end
and
of
know
the day,
what to do.
someone
then.
took on that and said, "I'm going to create a platform for you." And we had platforms that showed our music. You know, that's what I mean. We had Ralph McDaniel. We had the music
and they
box.
still have that.
But we had platforms. So to say that we wasn't trying to educate ourselves and to say that we weren't trying to move forward and say, okay, we was always educating ourselves. We stopped when this genre came in. When this new group came in, we didn't say, oh, wait a second. You need to know where you came from, whose backs you were on. Our radio came on at 12 a.m. Now you get to hear radio at 3 a.m. and y'all get
They didn't play hip hop on the radio till after 12 at night. Did you guys know that?
Let me ask you this too though, because me and him had this conversation.
Wow.
You know, you say it stopped, but do you think that because we was just talking about the internet in general,
right?
Do you think we got so much access to this information that is overwhelming too?
Yes,
it is.
So that can be a problem too. That
is
so we have so much access, we don't even know where to start, what to look up.
That's where all this Insta fame came from.
So what do you guys?
Had a million followers on Instagram before she was who she is today. We were following Cardi B just as over
because
her antics.
Who she is.
No, before
so
her.
Let me ask you guys a question. Where do you think we should start at you? Who do you want to hear from? Who do you need to hear from so that you can know more about the culture? Do you need DJs, MCs, producers?
Yeah, it'll be like that. Like one thing I want to mention that I don't know if y'all watch Everyday Struggle.
Yes.
But, okay. One thing about Joe Budden that I still respect was he still had a way of letting them know.
Yeah.
Without Like the
saying
one
that's what he was doing.
right. The one
That's
thing that
what
he
I would
said
say.
was
That's
the
why
reason,
he's popular.
There's a way
That's
to
why
do
he
it
won. That's why
without-
Puffy
that's
came and got
right.
him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the reasons, one of the things he said was, excuse me. The reason why a lot of these young artists are the way they are because they don't have the big homies.
Yeah,
telling them
exactly.
don't do that.
Right.
That's not what you should be doing.
Well, then that's what we're gonna need to do. When
and
we-
And
That's
that's
what I'm
why
saying.
Joe Buttons didn't get the respect from them. Because
course,
I said,
of course.
Joe's not the one they're going to take it from. Because young people are always trying to do what? Diminish who you are as value. So
Right.
it's like, who is Joe? You remember the beef between KRS-One and Nelly? I don't know if y'all remember
I
that
remember
time,
that. I remember
but
that.
KRS-One said Nelly wasn't hip-hop. And Nelly got upset and said, who are you to tell me I'm not
Right,
hip-hop? You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
I
right.
listened to Nas, but I don't think he understood what he was saying. At the time, that record that Nelly had was called like Number One or whatever.
Yeah.
It was
Right.
like a crossover record.
Right.
But for us in hip hop, it was about delivering a message. It was about,
Right.
entertaining.
He
At
tried
the
to-
same
he
time
tried to
being
stop it back then.
informative.
Right.
So Nelly took it. He wasn't saying what you're not doing wasn't evolving our culture, but this thing that we call hip hop, there's some elements in it.
Right.
And if you don't emulate them elements, then you're not hip hop.
Right.
But because that wasn't spoken in the right way, we missed that opportunity. So we
Right.
had our diversity
that's
even back
very
then
true.
too. So it's not just now.
See, that's probably what they need to have now. Is if they're gonna have something like Love and Hip Hop, have a show that displays the elements thing.
Absolutely.
With,
That's what
with
this
people,
is.
the OGs, and
Yeah.
then
That's
some
what
of the young
this
people
is.
That's
put
what
them
hip hop
together.
intends
That's
about.
what we
But like-
are.
What was it called?
That's what this is.
Wait, what show?
With Jim Jones and Chrissy.
Which is why they left. The first Love and Hip Hop, he's right.
None
the
of those
first
people
Love
are
and
here
Hip
anymore.
Hop.
Drama
No,
overtook it,
but the
though.
first Love and Hip Hop, she originally had the plan to bring in the right way.
Yeah.
And the dollars came in. And when the dollar
Right.
comes in and the dollar says, well, because I know somebody who was on Love and Hip Hop, she said her contract said, I get to humiliate you, lie on you, disrespect you, in her
No.
contract. Now, Chrissy had the contract and was like, I'm not signing that. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And we talking facts here. So Jim Jones
Yeah.
again is like, I'm out of here because this is not this is not
This
how
is
the
not
show
what
is supposed
she
to
wanted.
go.
That's what,
What
right.
happened was, I think they started making it more about his wife. Or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Drama.
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 It's like, you know what, we like that, but how about we look at it like
No,
Right.
because
that's
there
why-
is
And that's
no
why they
positive. There
backed
should
out.
be something positive. I thought
Like
that was going to be
this
a
show.
positive show about hip hop that we can actually be able to merge the two and go, okay,
That's
love and hip hop is I work in this culture, but I love, you know what I mean, someone else in this culture, and I love everything about this culture. Watch it play out. You know
Well,
what I mean?
we're gonna
wrap up.
we're gonna wrap up, but before we wrap up, I have a segment that I want to call "What's Poppington" because we need to let you know that
What's popping?
What's popping? So
This is how we inform you with the culture of what we,
I mean,
what
if
we
you
talking
are
about today.
right, so I mean, check out a show of some of the artists that were before.
Yeah, we call veterans, y'all
The
call
veterans,
old school. It's very
right, the
disrespectful to
classic.
call those artists old school because no other genre of music refer to
No.
their older people as old school.
If you go see
Madonna,
No,
yeah,
come
that's
on.
fine.
No,
but
I don't
Madonna
like that.
is a vet. You're never gonna say, "Oh, what
Do
is
you
Madonna
go-
doing here?" Or Rolling Stones. They all we put stigmas on our artists and say stuff like, "You too old to rap." That's ludicrous.
Okay, so Bone Thugs and Harmony, EPMD, Nori, Big Daddy Kane, Onyx, Brand Nubians, Mr. Cheeks, and Roxanne Shante are going to be at NJ Pack February 23rd. And that's in Jersey. So if you're in Jersey, you should go check that out. And what
We
else
gotta
is
talk about
going
that
on?
Jam Master Jay Memorial. Go back.
But see, the Jam Master Jay Memorial is going to be soon, and they're
Just-
going to miss it because it's like.
But just know that it
tomorrow.
comes every year. Every year,
Jam
they
Master Jay
they
Memorial
do this Jam Master Jay Memorial.
Is going to be January 22nd, and there are going to be 1 million people there.
Yeah, they come out heavy
MLP,
for him, which is
EPMD,
excellent.
Mr. Cheeks, Black Sheep, Tila
Yeah.
Rock, Spinderella, the
Yeah.
original Spinderella,
Yeah,
because they switched her. DJ Scratch, DJ Ace, just 1 million people, and it's going to be at SOBs in Manhattan. Atlanta, you're due for a show. There's going to be the ladies of hip hop, the queens of hip hop in March. So far, they have.
I think the Brat on there.
Oh, the Brat too? Okay, I didn't know about the Brat. It's going to be Moni Love, Trina, MC Light. That's it so far.
so far.
They're gonna have more people. I wonder why Mia X isn't coming. Mia X probably will end up coming. Oh, Rod Digger is coming too. Rod Digger will be here. My Brick City sister, Jersey stand up. And so, if there's anything else going on, we will let y'all know because we want everybody to check out the classic hip hop people.
You need some balance in this
You
game.
need some
So you want
balance.
to be able to
Yeah.
say, if they playing across town, we playing
Yeah.
across town too. At some point, we got to get back together where we all touring on the same stage. You know, because that's how it used to be. It wasn't about old and young. It was about, you know, let's merge these. Because every other genre does it.
Yeah,
when Madonna come out on Britney Spears stage, they going crazy.
They blow
Why
up.
couldn't KRS-One come out on a Chance the Rapper stage? Why?
Well,
couldn't,
you know, in Europe too. Europe,
But
they have so many
bring
shows.
so we can show the respect that we have for each other. It has to start with us.
Somebody's got to do it.
It got to start
Right.
with us.
Somebody gotta
One
do it.
person's got to do
Yeah.
it. And then it'll,
Like
Yeah.
Escape.
So that's
Escape
why-
did that during the concerts. Every city they went to, they brought out
Right.
OG. Like when they went.
Remy Ma just did it when she brought out everybody. She brought out Latifah, Light. You know, she brought out Cardi B. Like it was. She brought out Little Kim. It was I'm gonna show you who
And her
came before
husband,
me.
what's her
Papoose?
husband's name? Okay, Papoose. He just did a new song, and guess who he sampled?
Who?
Buckshot.
All right, let's have a nice day, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, because you know what I mean. This should be the Buckshot
All
show.
right, y'all. Thank you for checking
tuning
out
in to
HipHoppington
HipHoppington
with Kim and the crew. Thank you, crew. You guys were awesome.